Refocus is important because it will help screen industry companies to improve their representation both in front of and behind the camera when it comes to learning disabled people.
People with disabilities are there to show people that we're humans and we want them to be entertained by what we do.
It's important because it reflects what life is. And I wonder why it doesn't happen. And I think it's just because of people's sometimes trepidation that it's going to be something that's going to be logistically difficult to handle.
There's only so much abled actors can portray. They can mimic what we do, but they don't know what actually goes on inside our heads.
Sometimes when people think of disability, they go into pity mode. And I feel like that needs to be broken. That is just, you have to treat them like people, because it's like treating someone different because they have different coloured hair or have hair at all in my case.
Everyone is unique, we're all humans and we should respect that.
Refocus was born out of our experience at Hijinks working inclusively for many, many years in theatre. Starting to see opportunities coming up for our actors in the screen sector, but understanding that there might be some changes that need to happen in order to make those opportunities as accessible as possible.
To develop this training and the other resources that form Refocus, we've done a lot of research with Cluster's help, speaking to lots and lots of different companies throughout the screen industries to find out their experiences and also to get a sense from them of what they feel they would need to help them to improve the representation. We've conducted test centres for our training courses, and these we've developed from ones that we have done for a number of years now in other industries such as telecommunications, utilities and the NHS.
We've got an incredible pool of Hijinks actors around Wales that we've trained professionally, but we can't provide opportunities for all of those people. So what we want to do is help the wider sector to create those opportunities, using our expertise to support their teams, to build their confidence, build their communication skills, and make productions open and accessible for as many people as possible.
We know that the screen industries really want to improve representation, but we also know through the research we've done with Cluster and through research by people like the BFI, disabled representation in front of and behind the camera is really lagging behind.
We just want anybody who's got a creative spark or an interest in working in the industry to have that chance. So I think it's just really important for us as Badwolf to understand how to talk to the different parts of society and encourage them to understand the opportunities.
I obviously think it's hugely important for us to increase our representation on screen. One thing that Seven Screen don't want is for this to have been an isolated experience.
The training uses something called forum theatre. So we basically have a script, but then we can deviate from that script with the help of the participants. It gives everybody agency to get involved and change how the script, how the scenario is going to turn out.
Being invited to have your points of view, your thoughts on the situation and what worked, what didn't work, and how could you change that? What could you suggest that could change the situation for the better?
Participation can be quite a scary word for some people if they're walking into a workshop. You don't have to get up and do anything. You can just say that thing that's in your head, you know, that's bothering you, and then you can see it played out.
The gang who are online and in the room were just really welcoming and made you feel at ease, which was lovely, because it can be a bit trepidatious going into a training program, especially for something, an area of work that you haven't done before.
It provides a really useful insight to anybody looking to come into the industry. I think it helped give people a bit more grounding that would make the industry more open and accessible to a variety of people.
Role-play acting is good training for helping companies to see what goes on behind the closed doors of people with disabilities, and sometimes you get some really funny answers.
I think the benefits are having a low stakes, dry run at things, because I think we go through life really afraid that we're going to mess up in certain scenarios and situations, and this gives you a chance to try it out, to make those mistakes if you're going to make a mistake, or to actually go, oh, that really worked, and maybe that's something that I can transfer over to my life and my daily practice.
one is having somebody there, to help explain stuff to me if I don't understand it, and maybe kind of like just have a nice little snack case by the side of me. I love my snacks, so that would be it. That would all be good. Snacks, coffee, and somebody to make sure I behave myself, but also help me understand things and give me suggestions.
With Refocus, we're also able to provide creative enablers to productions. So the creative enablers would be there to support artists with learning disabilities in front or behind the camera. And the creative enabler's role is just to allow that artist to do their job. Ideally, they'd be invisible because everything would go perfectly smoothly and everyone would understand each other. Of course, occasionally that's not going to happen. There'll be communication breakdowns. There might be changes in schedule that need explaining, maybe even changes in expectations throughout the day. That's what the creative enablers are there for, and we can provide them.
Justin is so brilliant that rarely did I feel that he even needed a creative enabler, but I think that's the joy of having them, because they're there to be able to provide some guidance to Justin, but also to the crew, really happy to talk to the crew, to the director.
That's a support for me, and it was good to know what I need to do, go over my lines with them.
You don't want to, have too much support, 'cause again, you still want to be independent, but not too reliant on support.
I think a lot of times people are anxious that they're going to say something wrong or they're going to use the wrong descriptors. And that was really the experience of working with Hijinks. It was just a really joyous and life-affirming experience, and Justin is an absolute star.
In 2018, we published some casting standards for the screen sector, so guidance really about how people should work to make opportunities as accessible and as inclusive as possible. And they were really well received, and lots of the sector production companies, broadcasters were incredibly supportive. But then we kind of noticed a bit of a pause, and what we felt was probably happening was that whilst there was the will within the sector to make a change, what there might not be is the skills and the confidence to know how to do that effectively. So what we wanted to do was see how we could help that and take some of the learning from our theatre work, the learning from our early film work, and trying to come up with some solutions for the sector.
We're really excited about Refocus and the possibilities that it has. Effectively, what we offer is communications training, but it means that individuals and organisations will come through the Refocus training with a really good grasp of how to communicate effectively with learning disabled actors, with learning disabled crew members, and it will mean that all of the productions that they are then producing or are a part of will be that bit richer, will have much better inclusivity. And when it comes to the creation of work, scripts and storylines, the training will help companies to do that inclusivity in a much more authentic way, so that the storylines and the characters have that ring of truth to them.
It made me realise how there's so much more that can be done with all people in terms of making the industry more accessible.
I think any training that helps demystify the idea of working with a neurodivergent actor is absolutely fantastic and necessary.
Any scenarios that are explored through the workshops that we do are created with our actors. So they are entirely authentic and built on the lived experiences that our actors have had.
It's all very well when things are on paper, but you need that kind of interaction to bring a reality to it.
I'm just waiting for a phone to go off, and I like to be in soaps and do more what I did with Hidden, so yeah, I want to do more of those. Sometimes I like to be James Bond.
As long as we're all enthusiastic, confident, on a journey together, then I think working with Hijinks is going to help everybody do better, do more, and give great opportunities.
Working with Hijinks, working with Justin, has made us want to do it again and again and again on every single production. There is no reason why we can't have neurodivergent actors in every single drama that we create.
I definitely would like to see more opportunities for people with disabilities.
I would like to be seen first and foremost as an artist. I don't want people to pay so much attention to the word disabled that they go into that pity mode or simplistic mode or something like that. I just want to be seeing as a person, as an actor, as a member of the crew.
I would say to anybody who's interested in just working with more diverse groups in their productions, either behind the scenes or front of the camera, grab the hijinks by the hand and go on the journey.
People with disabilities are people.
Everyone's different, and that's a beautiful thing to